So Mark, man, always good to see you, player. The trailer for Wall Street looks so dope. What made you want to do this show? Because it looks like it's basically your real life entourage, right? And all the different businesses that you're running.
Yeah, I mean, I was always excited about the idea of kind of showing what I'm doing as an entrepreneur and kind of inspiring other people as well. We did a little bit of it on Wahlburgers, but it was more of a family kind of comedy, unscripted comedy. And this, we really want to just focus on the business and all the things that we were doing, and hopefully also maybe attract other opportunities down the line where we can find other entrepreneurs and people that are doing great, cool, interesting things, and kind of partner up with them and help them as well. And then, of course, you know, with where we are in the world today, obviously it took a big shift with all the businesses that were impacted like everybody else. So
yeah, no, man, it's really impressive and inspiring to see all that you're juggling while maintaining your career and the family. And so I think that's really going to motivate a lot of people who may think they have a lot on the plate when they see you doing what you're doing.
If anybody has an idea or everybody has a dream or passion or something that they want to do, I'll encourage them to go after it, because if they don't, then it obviously will never happen. And I don't like to leave any stone unturned. I feel like, you know what, if you give it your best effort and something doesn't work, then you feel good about it. But if you don't give your full 110% effort, then you have that regret there and all those what ifs. And I don't want to live in the what if space.
No, I love that. We're of the same mindset right there. I also love that you said you wanted to build something to pass along to your kids who are growing up very different from the way we grew up. So how do you find that balance, bro, to teach lessons, but at the same time, you know, not spoil them totally?
Well, that's actually the most difficult thing, right? How do you find that balance? I think the best way to do it is be an example. You know, I wanted to give the kids the things I never had, most importantly, like a great faith-based education, right? But, you know, with all the things and that they have and that I can provide, it doesn't make them as motivated or as inspired. They're not as hungry as I was to kind of go and figure out how I could achieve all the things or get access to all the things that I didn't have growing up. But I think it's just a fine line. I think the most important thing is to be an example, right? If they know that dad can't start his day without getting on his hands and his knees and praying and thinking about all those things. But, you know, my mom was a great example. She would always make sure that she showed us what it was like to work hard, you know, being the youngest of 9 kids. And so I just tell them, you know, there isn't anything they can't accomplish if they're willing to go and do the work, and they see how I work and how I'm not going to compromise in any way, shape, or form. And hopefully that'll be the example that they need to kind of go and achieve their own goals and dreams.
I love that. And you talk about starting your day. When we see a glimpse of those 2:30 in the morning workouts, when you started posting that, I'm like, did he have a typo? Is that real? So you still keeping up with that early morning grind, and why?
Well, it really depends on what I'm doing. Like right now, I'm doing it early again because I'm training and preparing for a movie role. And I have a lot of things that I need to get done before I start the rest of the day when my family wakes up and getting the kids ready for school and that sort of thing. So I get up that early, but I do get, you know, you know, the right amount of rest. I sleep 8 hours a day. So I'm waking up at 2:30. I'm usually going to bed about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I always make sure I get the rest, and the recovery is just as important. It's actually more important than the training.
I agree. I always say sleep is so underrated. It's so important.
But you know what? I'm going to be asking for tips because after this week, I get to start trying to put on as much weight as possible for the role that I'm playing. So I think that'll be fun for a couple of weeks until I eat myself into sickness. But looking forward to it. I want to get some recommendations for some great recipes and the way that I can pack on the pounds as quickly as possible.
Hey, that's when you call your boy Mario, because I'm down to eat and drink with you. that'll be a fun time right now. By the way, I love you posted a Throwback Thursday photo of you with your brothers not too long ago. And I'm sure, like you mentioned, being the youngest of 9, you had a lot of hand-me-downs come your way, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We always had our eye on what we wanted next. Yeah.
You got to barter. That's great, man. And then you got a milestone birthday coming to Mark, hitting the 5th level, turning the big 5-0. How you plan to celebrate?
Hopefully with you and with my family, with my friends. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, it is a big one. I can't believe that I'm turning 50, but then sometimes I work, you know, because of the grind and everything, I feel like I passed 50 a while ago. So I want to definitely cut up a little bit in a safe environment. I want to be able to come home, spend some time with my family, see all my friends. And then it's one of those reasons, if you can't cut up when you're 50, you're never going to be able to cut up again.
Exactly.
So,
hey, And I like to think for our age, man, there's gonna be a lot of dudes half our age that can't keep up. So that's another form of inspiration right there too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People are always a little bit surprised, but we live that lifestyle. I think, especially, coming out of the pandemic, people are going to really put an emphasis on health and wellness, and prevention is obviously better than cure. And so what better way to prevent sickness, illness than to just eat healthy and exercise and, kind of live that kind of a lifestyle.
You're exactly right. You should always make your health your top priority, which I love that you're always promoting too. By the way, I forgot to thank you for the gear that I'm rocking. I got the Municipal representing right here. Tell me a little bit about this and what made you want to get into this particular line.
I always wanted to be in the apparel space. I've done stuff with different people in the past. I dabbled here and there. We talked to some big brands about doing partnerships and even a joint venture. And they were like, you know what? We were going down the road with Harry Arnett, who's the CEO of Municipal, and those guys. And then, we were going to do a joint venture for the company that he was working with. And he was like, why build a brand for them? Why not do it on our own? And I said, well, we always bet on ourselves. And then we initially had a friend who was coming in to finance the deal. And obviously when COVID hit, people had to really kind of figure out where they had already had, deals happening, had to allocate cash and all that stuff. So we ended up actually just financing it ourselves. We launched during the pandemic. And it's been tough, but you know what? We always wanted to create something for the customer. We wanted to create a real value proposition for people. We want people who are eating right, exercising, working out, inspiring to be better, to get something that makes them feel good and look good. But something that's of high quality for a great price. And so, Municipal for us, it's all about being, self-made, not man-made. And it doesn't matter where you start in a municipal court, or a golf course, or basketball court, or anything, any public place, there isn't anything you can't accomplish if you go out there and do the work. So we wanted to create something special for people who are out there working hard every day.
Yeah, and I can attest, it's cool gear, so I appreciate it. Be rocking it all the time right there. You got it, man. One thing I wanted to talk about really quick, we were talking about, growing up and obviously being kids. It is so difficult for former teen actors, entertainers to make the transition. You've done it obviously incredibly well into many decades now, but I can't believe it's going to be 30 years, bro, since the debut album for Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch came back 30 years ago. It seems like it went by like that. Because I remember so vividly. That song still bangs, by the way. But what do you remember about that time?
Young and free, and lots of fun. But it's one of those things. Thankfully, I always wanted to just be in music. But when I met Penny Marshall, she was the one who really kind of introduced me to film and the idea of being an actor. And I felt like that's when I found my niche. I'd always gone to the movies with my dad. That was our thing that we did together when I was the youngest, when everybody else was in school. My dad and I would go to the movies and would watch movies. And he introduced me to all these great actors who were kind of blue collar guys, the everyman actor. And once I realized, that this was something that I could do as a profession, I didn't want to do anything else. So I literally, after that first movie experience, all I wanted to do was make movies. And I really wanted to just literally find one filmmaker at a time to give me one role at a time and slowly but surely build a career. And I knew I was in it for the long haul. And then I had that kind of marathon type of mentality. And I never kind of realized how much time had gone by since then. I've been just kind of working and trying to find the next thing, continue to grow and learn. But I really so grateful for the people that have kind of put me in a position to be able to make movies and find my passion, what I really love, my true calling.
Yeah, staying disciplined, man, is so impressive, especially at a young age. If you could tell your younger self back then, or give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say many things, but unfortunately, he would never listen. He, like you and everybody else, they think they know everything at that age,
right.
And it's that one of those things where you'll just be sitting there with your parents one day and you're trying to explain something to your kids and you realize, wow, why didn't I listen to my parents? It's not like they didn't know it before. You think they're not cool, they're not hip. They've obviously been through all of it. But that's one of the great life lessons, and if I can get my kids to just get it a little bit sooner than when I got it, then I think I've chipped away a little bit, and I've made some ground there. But it's just one of those things where you're kind of learning from my experiences. But the discipline does come from humble beginnings and having to work harder than everybody else. And I don't mind doing that because once I've worked hard, I've gotten results. So I just keep going, and that's always worked for me the old-fashioned way. Not cutting corners, leaving no stone unturned, coming in prepared, and delivering. That's the key.
That's what it's all about, the discipline and the work ethic. My only thing is I wish we would have kicked it when we were younger. And
yeah, well, you know what? I think it's better this way. You know,
it's probably things might have turned out a little bit different.
With the family and the kids, and
no, it's the best.
Yeah, but you know, I take my hat off to you. We've talked about it many times because you know, you actually, you know, being younger than me, having more success and more visibility, and still being able to not only maintain, sustain, and continue to grow, and looking young the whole time doing it. I've always been very, very impressed with all that you do.
Well, you're a big inspiration, brother. That's why, you know, I love everything that you represent. So continue killing it. Appreciate your time. Congratulations on everything. And I'll hit you up when we get back.
All right, bro. God bless. Best to you and the family.
All right. You too, buddy.